Thank you so much for taking the time, man. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely. Happy to talk cults. Be the
Yes,
first cult show on your occult show.
absolutely, man. So, give me a little bit of your background and how you started getting into exposing cults.
Well, I was a journalist at an alt weekly. I wrote articles for a paper, and at a certain point I started covering crime in 2016. And I covered this homicide. I went to Alaska for that because that's where the story was. And I ran into this cult on that journey, and I could not get the cult story into the article. They would not coexist. Um, and so I decided to revisit that story and find out where these people were in 2020. And it was this insane story of the body that I've been covering for years and years now. This group that's very I have no idea where any of these people are right now. It's a sovereign citizen fundamentalist sex cult.
Wow. Yeah, so what kind of got you into that? Like, where are they based out of, and where was the story kind of headed when you found out about the cult?
Well, I found out that I was like manipulated by this person I was talking to who was in the cult. So I had some skin in the game.
Damn.
Um, that was like I don't know. It was the pandemic too is the big factor.
Hmm.
Was there was nothing going on. I had a cover story I was working on for a paper and the paper went under.
Yeah.
Um like I had a cult story and I was like I'm gonna work on this thing until I have to go back to work. And then the cult stuff just became that's just what I do now.
How'd you become involved, like, with I guess whoever you were talking to?
So one of my sources on this homicide story that was in Alaska, she was a radio reporter, news director, and
Hmm.
she was in the cult. And I was
Damn.
taking in all this information from her that she had that no one else had. Um, and I was ignoring all the red flags that were going on around me. People were telling me it was a cult, she was in a cult, and I was like, nah, impossible.
Yeah.
Um, and then further down the line, I was talking to a different reporter down there about something Katie told me. She's like, she's in a cult, and I got all these tapes of it. Um, and I just it was undeniable at that point. So I had like all these conversations when I was sourcing her for the murder story recorded over. We were talking all the time, so I had all this tape with her already, and her kind of getting her way in my head.
Holy hell. Yeah, so it was a murder investigation basically that led into this huge cult story.
Yeah, but the cult wasn't involved with the murder. They were involved with
Gotcha.
trying to find a soft landing for the killer because his parents were rich. They were trying to get the family into the cult.
Really? So
Yeah, because
where are they based out of?
they started in Nikiski, Alaska. They were just in Tonasket, Washington. I don't think any of them are there anymore though. I think their place is for sale, their compound. I don't know who the hell is gonna buy it. It has the weirdest Zillow review ever. Um, but I don't know. They're in Montana or Oregon or
But it started in Alaska when you were kind of looking
yeah,
into it. Wow, that's really
and then
crazy.
to Hawaii and then Washington State and then who knows.
So what's their thing? Like what type of cult are they? Like who's the leader?
Well, when I say like it's fundamentalist, it's like they use a lot of Hebrew words. They sell a lot, celebrate ancient. They celebrate like Pentecost, and they don't celebrate Christmas. The word of the Lord is totally absolute. The woman is submissive to the man. Somebody else's husband can tell you what to do. That's kind of the hierarchy there. And then it gets into really weird. a territory because every cult is as unique as the psychopath in charge. He runs the
Hmm.
show.
Yeah.
And this guy who runs the body is really into fantasy novels like Lord of the Rings. And he will
Yeah.
sometimes blend Lord of the Rings into like the stuff that happens in his scripture is sort of sometimes fantasy-esque. Um, it's it's amazing some of
Yeah.
this stuff.
It's like calling his house a Schreier or whatever. Like
Yeah,
the
he's having
Shire.
conversations with eagles. He
Man.
goes to hell in his scripture. I have a copy of this.
Hmm.
Beats up Satan and takes back the sins to restore to God. So now like sin is in.
Damn. So he's kind of badass.
He's awful. He's awful.
God, what's his name? Are you allowed to say his name or is
Yeah, his
that kind
name's
of
Mark Bissett. It
Mark
sucks.
Bissett? Man, so he is the leader of the body.
He is the leader of the body.
I guess that was the cult that's featured in one of your documentaries that you have on YouTube. It's very well done.
Hmm.
A cult walks into a courtroom, I believe,
Yeah, Cole walks into a courthouse.
or a courthouse. Yeah, yeah. Sorry. Yeah. So tell me a little bit about that. How did you decide to want to do like a documentary based on all of this?
I mean, over time, I just collected more video stuff. The cult made some videos. I in what year was that? 2021. I had all this audio, tapes from the body and people that I'd interviewed. Like I had the story and I wanted like nobody was coming to my like nobody could find the story.
Mm-hmm.
It was just like in internet wasteland. So I took I went to Alaska with a drone pilot and we shot drone all over um the Kenai Peninsula of Alaska, which is where this cult was,
Mm-hmm.
like all over that, and it's gorgeous.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful place. And then I just took that footage that I cheated, and the first documentary is called "The Land of the Body,"
Mm-hmm.
a YouTube thing, and that's like it's mostly like drone and voiceover, like hearing these conversations
Yeah.
about the body with and former members and um hearing tape of Mark. And then a year or so later, I was working with a producer and I had just gotten these tapes of the body in court. Like there's this divorce where all these cult members, there was like a procession of them, like on the witness stand, people who used to be in the body and active members of the body. And it's highly entertaining. I was highly entertained by it. And I was like, we're gonna use this footage. And so yeah, that I guess or that's a it's a documentary where there's no footage of the actual court proceedings, but it's sort of a court drama, I guess.
So yeah, it's just basically listening to what's going on within that those trials or the divorce hearing.
Yes. It was,
That
I
was
mean, this was a lightning case. It was the mom who was in the cult was saying her ex-husband was molesting the kids, and he was saying his wife was in the cult.
man, that's dark ass shit.
Yeah.
Was part of that in the cult walks into the courthouse?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, there was that case where it was like the dad and had the two kids, and the wife was just like willing to give up the children
Well, she was
altogether.
brainwashed.
That is crazy, man. I can't imagine. But yeah, I mean, I'm sure because like you said, you were dealing with somebody within the cult and she was doing the whole mind manipulation. Can you run me through that a little bit?
Yeah, I guess like the first time I talked to her, the very first time, I knew that she was the kind of the missing link. The I was looking for people were shutting up. I had been investigating for about 9 months, and I'd
Hmm.
kind of run out of sources. And I
Yeah.
but I knew as soon as somebody told me to talk to Katie, I knew that she had information because I've been reading her stuff that she was posting online. I just had never made the association that she
Hmm.
knew anything about the case. Um, and I started talking to her. Our first conversation, she told me, I have I have a lot of information, and if I decide I can trust you, I'll give it to you.
Damn.
So I was like, I'm gonna do everything correctly, um, and try to please this woman and get this information.
Damn, was she kind of
And
hot?
uh, no, I don't. She's not my type.
Or was it like a
Um,
more of like a word manipulation or how she kind of acted type of thing?
well, we just started. We were the two people working on this story the most.
Hmm.
And we started talking all the time. And then and it was like we built a friendship, or I thought we were building a friendship.
Yeah.
We were both interested in publishing, like the publishing of this case and getting the story right. But she started like, I have these tapes where she starts telling me all this political levers she's pulling for the killer. And I'm just like, whatever. I don't even notice. Like, I'm so
Yeah.
lost at that point in the conversation, and it's in such an ethical dead zone that it just kind of went over my head. And then I came back to it, and I made a podcast about this, my relationship with Katie, and how I found out she was in the cult, and that whole the murder story.
Holy hell. Yeah, so how did you wake up from that and be like, she's kind of being manipulating right now and I need to focus?
I didn't really notice until 20 like years later. So we were talking in 2017 mostly.
Hmm.
And then in 2020, I was going back through old tapes because I was like, there's a story here. I was working on a different cult story for the paper. And I just was like, I'm going to revisit these tapes of Katie because I know that she told me about her church on multiple occasions. I'm going to find that stuff. And while I was looking for that stuff, I was finding examples of me just like saying yes to everything. Like, um, and her kind, I could see the pressure she was putting on me.
Yeah.
But she built this story that there was, I don't know. I mean, it's she built something in my head that there was this whole other thing going on that wasn't actually real.
Yeah.
And I trust I was like, this is a journalist. She's a great journalist too. Like
Hmm.
she was an awesome reporter, except she was manipulating stories.
Damn. So she was on the radio too, right?
Yes, KSRM in Kenai, Alaska.
So it kind of gives her this credibility in a way to where it would be easy to listen to her and take her for her word.
Yeah, it was a genius move by the body to get her in the at the radio station. Get
So
her rubbing shoulders with politicians. It was all like political stuff that she did.
damn, so that was like a calculated move by them to get her in there, or was she already doing that and did they recruit her from that?
Um, well, I mean, when you're in a cult, they dictate everything you do. You don't apply for a job without telling the boss that
Hmm.
you're already your cult leader boss.
Yeah.
Um, so it was definitely something where they tried to. Katie wanted to be in. She has a Christian fake communications degree somewhere. Um, but yeah, it was something they totally installed her into that position with
Wow.
by knowing people. And it's something you couldn't do that in New York City.
Yeah.
Like it's something that happened in Kenai, Alaska, because there's nobody lives on the. I mean, there's I can't remember how many people live on the peninsula. It's very small. I mean, it's a huge area of land, but the population's small.
So you started talking to her in 2017, and
Yeah.
when did you wind up like releasing this information?
I can't remember the first thing I put out. Like, I didn't really put anything out about Katie until 2021 or 2022.
Hmm.
And then I put out the big like betrayal of Katie is the podcast, which is called Cult Stories. The episode is called Deployable Agent. It's really easy to find because there's only one episode of the show.
Hmm.
Um, and that was in that was last year, I think,
So she put that out, or
24.
you did?
I put that out. She
Okay.
didn't want to talk to me anymore.
Oh, dang. Yeah, so you were kind of sitting on that, like a lot of that information for quite a while, huh?
Yeah,
Or,
I was. And I knew I was going to do something with that story one day.
mm-hmm.
And then it just kind of happened in an unexpected. I mean, I started with like little, if you look at the like primordial stuff I was doing when the paper went down and I was suddenly an independent journalist, it's not great.
Why didn't they want to pick up the story on the cult?
Well, I had a story about a cult that was coming out for the paper. I wrote the murder
Ah,
story,
gotcha.
but I wanted to write the cult story for a magazine
Mm-hmm.
originally.
Yeah.
And then I realized I wasn't going to leave the case alone and that I should just update this thing, like stick with this story for the long haul until it's over.
So what's the worst things that they've done? Is it mainly manipulating families,
It's
like the
child
body,
abuse.
child abuse?
Yeah. I mean,
Dang.
unfortunately, this is often the case in cults, is with these secretive groups, is that these are hotbeds for child abuse. In the body,
Jesus.
there's that like for one, they believe like in the spare the rod, spoil the child thing. So they like you get a rod to hit your baby with at like 2 months old. And
God,
then there's sex abuse, like in the shower and stuff. Like it's called washing. They have a
Jesus.
practice called washing, which is like a perverted baptism.
Yeah, it's weird as hell. So what year did they get started and how did this specific group get started? Do you go
It
back that far?
started it started around the turn of the century. Like I really think that the cult got on its legs in 2003
Okay.
when they split from a church. Like there was a Nazarene church, and then somebody knew this guy Mark and how great he was going to be for the group, and Mark took over, and he is God. He is a prophet, and all that stuff, the control, the splintered families, and everything bad came with Mark.
That seems to be like the start of most cult stories. There's this charismatic leader. Is he pretty charismatic?
He wouldn't be charismatic to me, but that's the thing about cult leaders is that they don't need like I wouldn't bring Charles Manson to a dinner party. I think he would ruin the whole thing.
Yeah.
But there are people who found him very charismatic. You can say this really about any cult leader. Like they
Yeah.
appeal to their base. They want everyone to they would prefer a world where everybody was just in doing what they say, like whatever specific cult was on their terms, but they just lived with different rules.
Yeah. Well, he's an interesting case, possibly tied to the government or intelligence agencies. In a way, he escaped justice for a little bit. You kind of ran across that with some of your investigating where you've had trouble with law enforcement, with the FBI, just getting them to look into some of this stuff.
Yeah.
Can you tell me a little bit about that?
Well, there's just a first there's like a practical piece to it, which is like if you call you can't call and like report a missing person if you're not related to that person. Like if you like you can get that you can pique their interest with some evidence or something like, hey, I think this person's missing. Here's like the evidence that proves that. I was trying to get these people the evidence to look at that I had. But because I was talking to this guy's ex-wife and she was telling me the story about a missing kid. Um, and I knew it was real. I knew that the story was real, and I was trying to prove my case to the FBI and local law enforcement to get them to go knock on a door.
Hmm.
Um, because there was like an unusual building, and the kid, yeah, it was where I don't know. It was disappointing because I called him in 2020, and this didn't happen until 2022, or the Chris
So,
was arrested and they found the kid.
so the kid was missing for about 2 years or maybe even longer.
Yeah, I mean, really since birth. It had been
God,
separated from its mother and in this been given away to another family as a gift. Um,
jeez.
that's how the body works.
So going back to that instance that we're talking about, the mom was the one that was just manipulated, brainwashed in a way, and the father was the one that kind of was taking the kids and
Yeah,
doing the wrong.
yeah.
Wow.
That's exactly what was going on.
I was trying to follow it. I was like, I couldn't, because when like a mother gives away her children, she's like, I gave them away. One of them she hadn't seen since birth. That's a horrible thing to do. So immediately you kind of think like that, she's like in the wrong there. But then you kind of find out about all this manipulation behind the scenes, and then the dad is actually like the one abusing everybody.
Yeah, I mean, in that tape, she says, I was not forced to make this. I mean, it's a weird that whole thing is weird, but yeah, she thought she was coming back and they convinced her to make this video to like prove her loyalty, you know?
Yeah.
It was always you got to prove your loyalty some way to these guys.
Yeah, that is so weird. And it's all based off of, you said like an ancient text.
Fundamental Christianity, it's this I can't remember. I probably have a better way to it comes from this guy in Texas who was a preacher. Randy Shankel was his name, and he ran a cult called the Church in Marshall, which I think still exists, and he's dead now.
Oh shit.
But his entertaining he was a cult leader. Don't need to I don't feel too much for his passing. I'm sad I didn't get to interview him.
Yeah.
Um,
Sure, he was a great guy. I'm
he was
kidding.
a his head case, but he kind
Yeah.
of came up with his own um sort of take, his reinterpretations of the text. And that's what these guys are doing is they're saying like I can interpret the text the correct way. I have the divine way, the one true way of this, and everybody else is wrong. And this Bible verse actually means I can sleep with my neighbor's wife.
Yeah, that always seems to be the rule. Like you're allowed to bang everybody's wife. At that point, I would be like, I'm out. I mean,
Yeah.
there's a couple tall tale signs where it's like the guy thinks he's God, the guy wants to bang your wife, and on down the line. There's like these like weird steps that kind of happen. Do you see that with most? The leader thinks that they're God or thinks that they're godlike.
It's really just that the leader is kind of the only gateway to whatever information they possess.
Hmm.
Like you can't get what you're getting from the leader anywhere else. Like that they're the one supreme source um that is all knowing,
Hmm.
or knows at least this one, whatever the classification of the cult is.
Yeah, so did they start with a bunch of members that kind of branched off from that other church that you were talking about,
They
or?
did. They started with members that branched off, and but it was really small. It was like 8 people in the beginning, 10 people. They would meet in each other's living rooms and stuff, garages.
Yeah. And then they're, I guess, recruiting people. How does that whole process go down?
They do nothing public, no public recruiting.
Hmm.
Um, they would mingle with the communities. Like a lot of the people in that cult were school teachers. They worked at the middle school or high school.
Creepy.
And they were connected to other people. Katie was connected to lots of people with her radio station job, and um, they knew lots of people. They would bring people in one at a time,
Damn, kind of like
or
isolate
like a
them in a way.
couple. They would find a
Yeah.
couple and bring them in. Oh yeah, I mean that's like the first thing is that when the cult started, it wasn't nearly as bad as it's become.
Hmm.
But that's kind of the first thing is these people stop seeing their friends from church, stop seeing like anybody that wasn't in the body.
Yeah.
Um, and you just everything is insular, and when weird shit starts happening, you won't notice because you've been there too long.
Yeah, you just kind of become accustomed to everything going on around you.
Well, and yeah, and miracles are taking place and stuff. Like whatever the leader guy or gal says is going on.
So was he, I guess, quote unquote, doing miracles, producing miracles? What was he kind of
That's that's what I
using?
hear. I mean, he writes prophecies when he's about time he spends by himself, and magical things happen all the time there. Or he goes to hell or whatever. But yeah, there was talk of a woman who died at a meeting and Mark resurrected her. Like she died. I talked to people who were in the cult
Hmm.
who said this woman died and
Damn.
he brought her back.
Was it
And-
drug
which
induced?
no,
Maybe with a can of Narcan or
I
something?
think it was more like community theater.
Yeah. Pentecostal in a way.
Yeah.
Get the spirit out of them, or yeah, it's
Mhm.
man, that is so crazy. What do you think causes these people to kind of go all in on everything where they are accepting of, hey, somebody's banging my wife, or this guy thinks he's God.
There's a promise at the beginning. There's like, hey, this is, you hear somehow that the best thing, the secret is this guru person, or prophet or whatever. Um, and once you kind of you might be trepidatious about it or whatever, but the people are really friendly. You just kind of like you don't get introduced to any of the weird stuff right away. It's
Hmm.
kind of like just a social group where you see maybe some people you know, and they start when there's new people. They kind of hit reset on the weirdness of it, and it becomes a little more base level. Now it's just like kooky banana. I mean, after this guy was, I mean, facing 11 felonies in Washington, now they've scattered,
Damn.
sort of.
Yeah, so how did that all transpire? Him, I guess, getting charged with anything. Was that somewhat recent? And was that kind of like a long and hard process to even make that happen?
There was an investigate. The investigation started in 2022. I mean, there was a forensics report that was unclear. Um, in May of 2022.
Hmm.
So this was like I didn't know about it until Chris got arrested the second time. But they were working on a case. The problem is that there were cops who were like doing favors for cult members in that story.
Jeez. Why would they do that?
I don't know. They're given something or some sort of. I mean, I think it might be the sovereign citizen thing. That there are definitely police who are friendly to the sovereign citizen folks.
What is the sovereign citizen?
It's basically like you're not a part of the United States and you don't have to uh like adhere to the law. You don't need a driver's license or anything. You don't need a license plate. You're just a free man
Yeah,
who can't
that,
get caught.
I feel like the police would not be not be cool with some of that type of shit.
You'd think so. Yeah, I would. I mean, that's one of the most amazing things about that story is like how they got a cop on their side when they were when the optics were the way they were. I don't know.
One of the videos from your documentary, like the cops pull up on that guy who's got his daughter in the back seat, and he's like, "I don't have anybody in my car. There's nobody here."
Yeah,
Um,
that's Chris.
oh,
Um,
that's the leader. That was the
he's
leader.
not the leader. He's just he's the one that got in trouble.
Oh, gotcha. So the leader's just scot-free. He's still out there roaming.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
I believe there's some investigate. I mean, there was like an FBI investigation into this guy. They, they're aware of him. He hasn't been shut down yet, but pray he does or does something terrible, and then the FBI can clean it up.
Yeah, how long have you been notifying law enforcement and the FBI? When was kind of the first time you started hitting them up with some of this information, and how did you get their attention?
Well, in 2016, I started pulling. If you work a crime story, you have to pull records from
Hmm.
the police department and from the courthouse to really know anything about a case. And so I kind of built up relationships, I guess, with I knew how to make requests and file FOIAs by the
Right.
time I started really looking into the body in Chris's case.
What year was that again?
Chris got arrested in 2022.
Yeah, and that was around the same time you started hitting them up or calling law enforcement.
I started calling law enforcement in 2020 and they fucking hung up on me.
So what did you call them about? What was the original?
I said there's a cult from Alaska that just moved to your community. There's a missing kid. This guy, he might maybe in the care of Mark Bissett, and I gave them two addresses.
Uh-huh.
And year and change later, they found the kid at one of the addresses.
Holy
Like,
shit. Where were they when you called? Like who were you calling at that point? What city? What
the
jurisdiction?
Okanagan County Sheriff's Office.
Is that still in Alaska or
No, that's in Okanagan County, Washington.
Washington? So kind of close. I mean, not like too close, but they're kind of in that same like northwestern kind of area of the United States.
Yeah.
They hung up on you when you called them about that?
Yeah, I had law enforcement. Sometimes I mean, part of it is that I could be kind of, I'm acidic sometimes. I don't really like talking to the cops. Um, and I don't know. I've gotten in arguments with them several times over the years for the entertainment.
I saw one of the clips. I think you said, I mean, you got some balls, man. I think you said "fuck you" at one point, and like, I think you hung up on one
Oh
of the
yeah,
calls.
yeah. I
Is it?
did. I did. I told that was, but he was covering for his buddy and like he was just making up. He was just insulting me. He had every right.
Are they kind of friends with, people within the body?
I think they're in militia territory. Um, and the cops have to deal with these militias that live in the woods and in the mountains and in the hills.
Yeah.
And some of them are receptive to those folks. Some of those people have government jobs. Um, that's just the way it is.
So some people within the body have government jobs.
No, no, no. Somebody like I'm talking about like the militia people in
Oh,
that
gotcha.
area of the
Yeah,
world.
yeah. Damn, okay. Yeah, I'm just trying to understand why law enforcement wouldn't open their eyes to the fact that like a kid's missing or there's abuse going on or
Yeah, I mean, I was the only source at that time though. Like nothing had been published, nobody knew anything. Like,
holy
I
shit.
mean, I you have to imagine like they're getting this information about this cult that they don't know anything about,
Yeah.
and there's a missing child. I'm not related to the kid. They're asking me how do I know, and I'm like, well, I talked to these people in Alaska. Alaska's not the jurisdiction of Okanagan County.
Yeah.
So it's not like unforgivable, but it is like they should have knocked on the door, in my
Yeah.
opinion.
At least look into it. So it was originally that mom that like hadn't seen her child from birth that was looking for her kid at that point.
Yes,
And you went,
she came back onto the scene, filed a petition for a like just the custody. I'm not going to think this through. She made her case that the custody was bullshit and that she was in a cult and that this is what the cult was like. This is who led the cult. This was Chris's role in the cult, and that she wanted a restraining order and wanted to restrain him from his kids
yeah.
and get a new protection order. And that was a mess. That was a mess back in April of 2022.
Was she ever successful at getting them back?
She did get the kids back. Yeah, I mean, ultimately, when Chris got arrested, both those kids were with mom, and she is not in a cult. So I feel that something good has happened.
Yeah,
She's,
that's
she's
really
never been
awesome.
charged with child molestation.
God, I guess in the documentary it was kind of late when I was watching it, but he was guilty of all that stuff that she was accusing him of, right?
Yeah, he was. I mean, he everything. The world Chris lives in is not like what is in front of you. Like he lives by the code of the side. He speaks like a sort of a different language. Like when you see him get arrested, the way
Hmm.
he talks is like it's very strange. Everything is abnormal. That was like that went viral instantly. When I put that out because just every word that he says when he's making his case is he sounds like a space alien.
Yeah.
Um,
Was
but
that the
yeah, he was
body?
guilty. He never got in any trouble. He's missing now.
So
And
he's out
somebody
of
that,
jail?
yeah,
Jesus. Yeah, in the body cam footage, he's just like talk like you said, he's just not in reality. There's no kid in my car. I'm on my own property, that type of thing. And the police are like, "Look, I'm looking through the window. I see a child. What the hell are you doing?" Did he wind up getting arrested on in that in that instance right there? Or was he able to kind of
he
escape
was
that?
arrested for custodial interference.
Just not letting the mom see the child.
Yeah, and he was violating the protection order, the restraining order, and the restraining order the judge put on him is 12 and a half years. But between you and me, I think Chris is dead. I think he sleeps with the fishes. I think Chris got a little too close to the sun. He was causing problems, and they couldn't have him causing problems anymore. And I think Chris went for a walk in the woods and never returned.
Damn. So is like the main section still in that same Alaska area or have they
No,
all kind of broken
I
up?
don't know where they are now.
Yeah.
The good news is that a fair amount of people, like five, six people, if you include the kids, have gotten out
Yeah.
recently, like in the past year and a half. Some people have gotten out, and I hope they rebuild their lives and everything goes well for them.
Yeah, at its peak, like how many people were involved?
It's a pretty small group because it kind of they cut people out and put people in. Like Mark wants to have 12 apostles, 12 women, 12 men, and then the kids in the cults. Um, I would say at its peak there were probably like 40 people in that group.
Hmm.
And then I mean they're connected to these other sort of satellite entities though. They collaborate with cults. Um, And it's just t today I don't know. I don't know who's left. Mark Wade Bissett is in there.
Hmm.
Gary Parker is in there for sure. Chris Coombs, if he's alive, is still in the. I don't know. He's if he stepped foot in Kenai, Alaska, my phone would ring in within a half hour. He's not allowed to go to the grocery. Like
Yeah.
he's notorious in this tiny town in Alaska. This cult thing that happened is like, I mean, that happens sometimes where you have something really exciting, like, but bad happening in the middle of nowhere where people are just gonna be talking about it forever and ever.
Yeah, did people part of the community know about it when it was going on, or were they just kind of oblivious?
Yeah, it was very much a rumor.
Hmm.
People talked about it. They knew some stuff about it. They had heard about washing. But the first time I went to Alaska, probably a third of the people in the area would tell me that they had heard something
Hmm.
that I had talked to at least.
Yeah, was it easy to talk to people from there about everything, or was it kind of hard to get people to share any information?
No, I mean it's weird. It's like there's all this like sex stuff in the cult that's bad.
Yeah,
And that's always like it's hard to source stories sometimes when they get as dark as this does. Like with a lot of cult stories, there's just things in them that are really like there's a psychopath involved. So
yeah,
um, something hinky might happen.
really fucked up. Were they doing any kind of drugs or anything like that?
No, occasionally there would be wine. Like if you were getting washed, there might be some wine involved.
Jesus Christ. Yeah, it's just such a creepy ass thing to call it washed. Ugh, fucking
Yeah, it's creepy. They're a bunch of creeps. It's all like I don't know where this came from. It's just it's they can justify it with a Bible verse is the thing. That's why like Mark interpreted that piece of the Bible about baptism or something like that and was like, this means I can feel your tits or whatever he said. I don't know. Like it turned into like you would have to repent and get washed. And like Mark's ex-wife, they wouldn't wash her because Mark didn't want he wanted to touch everybody else.
not
Um
her.
yeah, it's like I mean it's sick
Yeah,
stuff, the
it's a
body.
weird. So you said that they were kind of connected within like other networks, I guess, of cults in the area, or was that spread out across the US?
They had a tax man named Charlie Ray Chung. And Charlie Ray Chung, I'm
Shout
trying to
out.
think of he no, he runs a tax, he's a tax man,
Yeah.
but he also runs the tax business is also a ministry.
What the hell?
Yeah. Which sounds like something that he the DOJ like s- arrested him because he was defrauding people. And he's like he's got this tax business slash ministry.
Yeah.
He's a fascinating criminal.
So their tax guy had his own kind of thing going with like his own group, I guess.
His own very culty group that does taxes for religious groups. They do taxes for cults.
Holy shit.
Yeah, they've got quite the. I don't know how these people like find the thing. Like there must be some kind of network because I guess like this story I've been with for 7 years, eight
Mhm.
years. Um, so you find out about these little like the ministry tax man who's obviously a criminal, and obviously working with all these cults. Like how do they find this guy?
Yeah. Yeah, did it lead you down any other like rabbit holes like that that you found?
Many. I mean that's a great example of a rabbit hole because it's so weird. And
Yeah.
there's this guy Chaz Jacko that was his business partner that I can't remember. He's involved in like life extension, like which is it's very culty, like the convincing all these old people that they're not going to die, and it's like snake oil. It's all
Yeah.
of these corrupt people that I used to call it the Chuckiverse because it was Chaz and Charlie.
Damn, so they were
That
in their own cult setting, like they were kind of running their own thing.
yeah, I mean I also think that like criminals have a nose for other like there's somebody who tells them like I know a guy who can do your taxes for you. I don't think you should have to put this money in there. I mean, I don't know.
Were they doing taxes for other cults as well?
The tax man, Charlie Ray Chung, was doing taxes for other cults. He should be. I've never done a story about Charlie Ray Chung. I should. I
Hmm.
don't have him on video, is the problem.
Yeah.
And I would like to put him on video. Uh, but he's just a fascinating character. He's one of these satellite characters. And every once in a while, like you find somebody who's pertinent to the story and you call and they hang up on you or whatever. I was gonna try to get Charlie Ray Chung to do my taxes,
You
but
trust
he's
them with that
he's in
information?
a different state. I don't I trust him. Like if the body's been able to hide money for forever, so I think he's a pretty good tax man.
Damn. Is he still in jail or is he out?
He's out.
Okay.
He's a pretty old guy. Um, so I don't know if he will be around a whole lot. I know he his wife died, and then he got a new wife who was very young, and now he looks older and grosser.
So have you looked into his cult? Anything that they're doing that's kind of odd or
See,
stood out to you?
I wouldn't say that his group is a, it's more like he's a con artist. Like he's a, um, but he does work for, he hides money
Hmm.
for religious organizations that are trying to hide money. Um, it's sort of like if you've seen Breaking Bad, this would be, he would
Yeah.
be sort of a element
Better Call
like,
Saul or whatever.
yeah, where they kind of have the con artist that it specializes in something.
Yeah, that guy's extremely needed, I'm sure, to some people like that. What's his
Yeah.
tax company called? We could give it a little shout out.
It's called Paracolettos.
Damn, that's a wild, that's a wild name.
Yeah.
Where are they based out of? Is it still up in Alaska?
Broken Arrow, Missouri, I think.
Oh, damn. Broken Arrow, Missouri.
I believe.
That's kind of reaching out pretty far to do your taxes if you're based out of Alaska.
That's how I found Charlie Ray Chung, is that I found one of their state um, business licenses renewal forms, and they said that they were on 114th Street in Broken Arrow, Alaska. And I was like, there's no such thing as 114th Street in Alaska. It's like that's a joke.
Hmm.
Like there's like nobody lives in Alaska. There's no 20th Street, maybe.
Yeah.
Um, so I looked and reverse traced that address, and it was like I found Parkoletto's. I think they still have a website though. It was last time I was on it, it wasn't working that well.
Yeah, probably when he went to jail, stopped paying for it, and then kind of becomes overrun. It's like page not found type of deal. Or
Yeah,
do you know where the leader of the body is now? Is he kind of easy to trace, or are they kind of
used to
gone
be.
missing and into hiding?
I think they're hiding. I don't think he's in Okanagan County. I don't think he's in Alaska. There's a lot of places like there's people like because I go to these communities and I meet the people
Hmm.
like who would tell me if they saw they do tell me when they see these people.
Yeah,
Like if they're at the Ace Hardware store or at the grocery store or whatever. I get a text.
yeah. So yeah, you kind of become familiar with people within the community, and they kind of tip you off if they see some of these people back. Um, do you ever feel like in danger? Like you said that you think that Chris guy, he's missing, possibly dead. Do you ever feel like your life's in danger?
No, I don't think they want the game to if they killed me, they would be game over. What they've done is they've scared the shit out of me a few times, made me
In
feel crazy.
what way?
There was a guy that would follow me mostly from my house in North Minneapolis to this bar job I had in Seward, Minneapolis. It's about, I don't know, 8 miles or 5 miles, something like that.
Hmm.
Um, and it was really weird. He would sit in his car in the parking lot of my work, and then he would honk his horn just to, I'm here again, sort of thing. And that was really creepy. I was looking around corner that whole time. It lasted like weeks.
Damn.
Um, that was weird. That was the body. They've published all this stuff about me. They always like make me sound cool though when they like try to fight back.
So
Um,
what do they publish? Like where do they publish this type of stuff, this material?
they have a fake newspaper. There's the Omak Republic. Uh, They wrote an article about me where he said that I made everything up. And then he called me the Shakespeare of disdain, which is a really nice thing to say to
Yeah,
somebody.
it's kind of a compliment.
Yeah.
I think you have a beautiful way of storytelling, apparently.
I just threw that guy under the bus in a very I was rude to him because I knew who he was and I
So is
knew
it,
what he was gonna do.
yeah. So is this like a public, I guess, newspaper?
Yeah, if you type in OMAC cult into Google, I'm pretty sure it would be the first result.
How do you spell that?
OMAK.
Okay, I'm gonna check that out later. That's wild.
It's like the truth behind the secret cult here.
Do they print this out, or is it like more web-based?
In the one that was in print, they called me a uh, libelous, slanderous uh, internet blogger. They called me an internet blogger.
Yeah, okay, using terms from like 2001.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, that's crazy. Do you ever frame that and put it up on the wall anywhere?
On my wall, I have these are all document. I've got a picture of somebody in the body, and then a whole bunch of court documents and some inspirational stuff right here. But I keep yes, there's stuff, the little. I mean, I have cult stuff.
Like mementos
Yeah,
they kind of keep. When you first started on the story, you were the only one that was kind of reporting on it, and nobody else had found this.
yeah.
Damn.
There was a reporter in Kenai, Alaska, at this place called the Peninsula Clarion, who was working on a story about the body. And then she got it moved. She took a job at a radio station in Juneau. The story never came out, but I got her tapes. Um, and that was my starting point was an interview that she conducted with a guy who'd been kicked out of the body. Um, and then kind of the pieces started coming together back then.
Yeah, what were those tapes like? What was he saying about that?
I mean, this guy was going through a divorce he did not want to go through. He was in a terrible situation. I mean, that was it was he was rattled.
Hmm.
Like his whole world, God, everything had just kind of crashed down. And suddenly like he's facing I mean they tried to destroy him. They wanted him to like kill himself.
Damn.
They were doing stuff to scare him all the time and um it was it was a bad turned into a really bad like custody dispute.
So they follow people and do that whole mind manipulation thing, similar to like, I guess, Scientology.
Yeah, I would say brainwashing is kind of an element of every cult.
Hmm.
Mind control, something like something where the person who walked into the group is making their decision making process is altered
Yeah.
to serve somebody else to please, whoever's at the center or whatever their objective for the day is.
Is that because of a spirituality belief? You
No,
know?
it's not actually. I mean, there's something religious about it, but I don't think it's that people are looking for spirituality because there's like self-help groups like Nexium. There's no God in Nexium. There's
Hmm.
nothing religious about it.
Yeah.
It's just this genius, who is serving 120 years in prison. Um, but it's just kind of like the what we were talking about before, where there's like one road of access to this information. It comes from this one place.
Yeah.
To be severed from that is kind of a big deal, but there's the mind control element of it. I mean, and this was just like the word you don't even need to say mind control, just control, because sometimes it's silent.
Hmm.
There's all kinds of ways that they control each other. Like the body was going around, they would always have somebody recording, and they would always go two at a time, so nobody could be alone when they were in struggling. because you can't have a person like a person by themselves is more likely to engage with somebody in a conversation about like what's going on at home or whatever.
Yeah.
Um,
So what were
it's
they recording with? Was that video or just
they were
audio?
recording, I believe, all of them were using their cell phones.
Damn, run out of space pretty quick.
I think so. I don't know how they recorded it as much as they did. It's funny, I use recorders all the time. I have like my Zoom handy H1N right in front of me. I don't know if they had, maybe they bought recorders. I don't know. That's actually, I've never asked any of the people who've gotten out.
So they're just recording each other as they go out in public, or is it also private?
You have to get in their headspace. Like what they're recording is like the final chapter of the Bible. What they think they're
Gotcha.
recording is like they are chosen people. Like in Mark's scripture, he talks about like the main people in the church, in the body, as if like kind of in the same way that Job or whatever is written in the Bible, Noah. Like
Yeah.
they're the most they think they're on a very, very important mission.
Yeah, I mean, I guess like if you're in that mindset, yeah, you would want to be documenting everything and I guess videoing it. So, have you ever been able to get your hands on any of that video that they're recording, or?
I have little scraps of video. Um, it's not all that useful. The thing that I've gotten is the tapes from church, audio files of
Mhm.
what was going on, what was said in those between those walls.
Yeah, what was that
Um,
like?
and it's a cult. It sounds like Mark sounds insane. He sounds like he's possessed by the devil. Um, these other people are just answering up to him. I have a tape of his wife getting kicked out, where Gary Parker, the guy who's number two in command,
Hmm.
is kicking her out. Mark never says a word, but I was told that Mark was in the room while his wife got kicked out of the cult. That's the kind of stuff I have where that's like where you if you really want to experience like what was going on in there.
Yeah. What was some of like
Uh,
the language they were using? I mean, when they're kicking her out, was she pretty upset about it?
yeah. The heart is a something servant. I can't remember. There's all kinds of like biblical speak
Pretty
in that,
pretty poetic.
but it's not like it's smart though. It's
Yeah.
just unusual. It's esoteric. Um, I don't think there's these guys are geniuses.
Yeah, just sounds like a dumb person trying to read through Shakespeare or something like that.
Yeah, I mean it's creepy though. There's certainly like tapes from the body that will send a chill down your spine when you kind of understand what the context of what's happening
Hmm.
and knowing like what's about to happen to these people because it's already happened. Um, so those old tapes from the group have been. I mean, I guess like I have so much stuff, so many documents. I have hard drives full of material about these guys. I've really been after them, but some of it just like isn't that interesting. Like
Hmm.
if I put out the tape of this Lois getting kicked out of the body, even if I offered context that it's a the tape is bad, it's a bad recording.
Hmm.
You can hear what they're saying, but it's bad.
Yeah.
And there's long pauses of nothing. Like it wouldn't be that interesting. You'd have to be really hardcore. You'd have to be all the way down the rabbit hole.
Yeah.
But that's the thing is that sometimes people do go down the rabbit hole. Like that's something I have in common with the cults.
I guess follow the train of thought, if
Yeah,
you will.
in like a obsessive way, I would
Yeah.
say.
Well, they are super interesting. I mean, I remember watching like Jim Jones documentaries when I was a kid, being like, "Whoa, this guy was fucking kind of cool." Like, like not like that, but I was just like, even that I've got the Elvis shirt on. It seemed like he was kind of channeling this kind of meth-induced Elvis persona.
Yeah,
Very
I've
charismatic.
I've wanted to go as Jim Jones for Halloween, but I know some people in the cult community would be mad at me about it.
Yeah, making a joke out of it. I mean, it's been. I mean, how long ago was that?
This is 1978, I think.
Holy shit! Yeah, it's been a while. You could just tell them that you're going as Elvis. They're
Yeah.
very similar. I've seen some Elvis impersonations where I'm like, that's more of Jim Jones, I think.
hmm
One thing I've noticed, like, also about some of these cult, they have a pretty badass band. Does the Body have something like that?
There's music in the body. The some people know how to like play the keyboard and they sing Bible stuff.
Kind of shitty though.
But I don't think they have original music. That's the amazing thing. If you want to find original cult music, there's a radio station in New Jersey called WFMU,
Hmm.
and they do a show every Tuesday called The Music of Mind Control, and it's all music created by cults, and mostly original music. The music is awful, but it's an
Yeah,
amazing creative show.
it's not a good way to recruit people with shitty music. Charles Manson had a band, and like, I mean, his shit was
The
like pretty
Beach Boys
decent.
recorded a Charles Manson song, Cease to
Oh,
Exist,
fucking
I think it's
weird.
called.
Yeah, so that's like a weird thing. He was oddly connected with some pretty high profile people like the Beach Boys. Have you kind of dove into anything like that? And was he connected with the government at all? Any kind of intelligence agencies that
There,
you've seen?
I mean, I don't know that's been a story. There's been a story that Manson kind of was there to take down the C. He's a CIA plant or something to take down the left. Or, I mean, sometimes it's not even a conspiracy. I mean, like Jim Jones was tied to all kinds of politicians.
Really?
Like he
Damn, I didn't know
used,
that.
yeah, he was, saying he was going to improve all these people's lives. He was kind of grossly like a civil rights advocate.
Damn.
Um, but yeah, these I don't know what to make of a story like that because Manson is such a loose cannon. I can't imagine. The only thing that they could trust is that he was going to do something stupid.
Yeah.
Um,
Because for like years he was kind of
um,
getting away with a lot of what he was doing. Is that true? Charles Manson?
yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, but he didn't. The Manson story really kind of all flames out over the course of if you look at like the last 6 months, they were the stuff that happens in that time period. There's a podcast called You Must Remember This, and there's one that's about Hollywood in the Manson era
Hmm.
and the Manson. It's a really good interpretation of the kind of the last 6 months of the Manson story before they got caught and the trial a little bit too. That has to do with like their connection. It really goes through like everybody in the
Yeah.
scene. Um,
Well, I could kind of
and
see why those rumors can start because of how well connected some of these people are, like Charles Manson or Jim Jones. And I've heard like rumors Jim Jones, possibly, probably Charles Manson as well, because it's like the same time frame as the MK Ultra experiments and just mind manipulation, government experiments on its population, see what they can kind of get away with some of these characters. I heard a rumor where maybe Jim Jones took those people down there to kill them no matter what to kind of get rid of all of that evidence. Have you ever seen anything like that or heard anything?
I don't know. I mean, I guess like it's the hard part is that cults are very often prone to engage in a conspiracy where they have people from the cult who are told what to do, who alter a situation
Hmm.
in the cult's favor. That happens all the that's very common. All member they use members however they want because they'll do anything they say. They will drink poison like all these people in Guyana in
Yeah.
Jim Jones story.
Kind of why I asked, because some of those people, like Charles Manson, somewhat evading arrest or evading police at a certain point, sort of Jim Jones in a similar way, kind of all the way up to what you dealt with the body, where it's like extremely hard to get police involved. It's extremely hard to get the FBI's attention. They're just kind of like brushing it off. Do you think there could be possibly a connection where they know about it and somebody higher up is just like okay
Well,
with
I
it?
mean, I don't know. I mean, my answer is just like I don't know because
Yeah.
I don't trust the government.
Yeah.
Um,
That's what I'm saying. Like I don't trust them at all, and I feel like they could, you kind of learn about something like MK Ultra and the experiments that they perform on their own citizens and
yeah, they wanted the goal of MK Ultra was to get inside people's minds
yeah.
to use this. I mean, they were totally like all like our understanding of what cults are, like our modern understanding of brainwashing, comes from like uh what do you call it? POWs, like prisoners of war
Hmm.
who were released and then stayed with their captors in China or something like that, or
Hmm.
Korea. It's the Korean War. Where they studied these people, American scientists, and they used the Chinese word, which the interpretation was to like wash your brain, and that's where the term brainwashing comes from, is from like the communists and the POWs that were for whatever reason didn't want to come home and instead wanted to live in a prison camp.
Damn.
Yeah, I mean
Pretty wild.
that's a really extreme example that proves that mind control is real. Like that people don't make decisions to separate from everybody they know in their lives for no reason.
So do you deal with a lot of the families that have lost family members to some of these groups? Are you in
Yeah, I mean
contact with a lot of them?
I have heard some wild stories about family from people who are trying to get a hold of their relatives or people who used to be in the cult. I talked to a lot of people who survived cults, but almost always, like if they were really in, if they were, especially if they're in for over a year, you're gonna have like broken relationships or just like you just don't see anybody anymore from the past.
It's really fucking crazy. Are you still researching the body, or have you moved on and kind of targeting anybody else?
I have like another story that I'm gonna start working on soon. I have a lot of projects I need to like catch up on.
Hmm.
Right now, the body is, I can't find any of them. I've tried, I put a TikTok out calling for people to help me find anything about Chris Coombs. Um, because
Damn.
these
Yeah.
people, they're just like ghosts now. They really disappeared. They've done this before. They'll show up again. But I do, yeah, I have other stories. I have other stuff that I'm gonna work on. But the body will be back. I'll kind of, I'm never gonna quit reporting on that story. I don't think.
Yeah, fuck those people. Are there any like areas in the US that are kind of like hotbeds for these type of groups?
I think there are certain areas in the country that are hotbeds to certain kinds of groups. I think
Texas kind of seems like one.
Texas is definitely a lot of like kind of Baptist cults.
Yeah.
Um, what do you call it? Enthusiastic sort of stuff you see in the South. Um, if you look at something like Scientology, though, they're in cities.
Yeah,
There's
there's
no
really bad shit.
Scientologists in rural places.
Hmm.
Um, Jehovah's Witnesses are kind of scattered about the country. The Amish are in the northeastern area, mostly Midwest. Um, but like these groups, it's just somebody who's able there's who's able to convince somebody to be their patient zero and to join them in this pursuit, and they start attracting members. A cult could happen anywhere.
Yeah.
Most of the stories that I am attracted to happen in the middle of nowhere. Like Scientology, there's so many fascinating stories about that cult, but I'm not really going to do a big Scientology story or go after them because there's other people who are competent that are telling Scientology stories.
Yeah, it's kind of
Like
like a horse that's being
I,
beat.
yeah. Well, but they should be. I mean, it does
Hmm.
need to come up because people forget about how fucking weird it is.
Yeah.
Um,
And rampant. I mean, it's everywhere. I had a buddy that I worked with. He was living down in Austin at one point. He's like, "Yeah, I went in there just to check it out. I did their test, and then they wouldn't leave me alone for a little bit." I'm like, "Holy shit!" Dude." He's like, he decided like after the test he wasn't gonna like join or whatever, but he went in there and like gave him his information. I was like, "Dude, what the hell? You didn't even look into it at all?" And you,
I went to the world
man,
headquarters in Clearwater, Florida.
holy shit.
It's a weird. There's all these like fake businesses that are going on down there that you can kind of walk through.
Do they kind of own that whole city, or is
They
that?
own the city. Clearwater,
Damn.
Florida is it's kind of like Disneyland.
Holy shit.
Like it's kind of a pretend city because Scientology owns so much of it.
That is so fucking weird.
I guess once you get out of downtown, it's less Scientology, but then, new recruits and stuff live on the outskirts.
Do they have people within Scientology running those businesses, kind of
Well,
playing
yeah,
storekeeper or whatever?
like in Scientology, if you want to get insurance, there's a Scientology specific insurance that you can buy for your home or car.
Yeah.
And all the people in the who get the insurance are Scientologists. The people selling it are Scientologists. They just got like uh I mean, they have like this mental illness thing that looks like a business that tells you prescription drugs. It has this wall of like all these people, and it's like Kurt Cobain was killed by ADHD medication. It's like, no, that guy put a shotgun in his mouth.
Yeah, I don't think that that's true.
Yeah. I thought it was funny though.
Was that where they started out of? Was Florida? L. Ron Hubbard?
No, I think it started more like Los Angeles
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
area. Not why am I'm kind of blanking on this right now. But it started, yeah, like in California, and then they like Clearwater was a place they knew they could kind of swing in. And they have the Sea Org, like they have their the boats that they go out on where they can do whatever they want in
The
international
Voyage.
waters. So there's the in Clearwater you could have a giant boat like they had.
Is it kind of like a cruise ship or like more of like a yacht? Is it kind of
I
shittier than that?
it was something L. Ron Hubbard was protesting that they were cracking down on him and calling him a cult leader and stuff. So he's like, I'm gonna go to the sea where there are no rules. I no, but I
Hmm.
don't know exactly what goes on in Sea Org. It depends on how high up the ladder you are.
With David Miscarriage, I forgot what his name.
Miscavige,
Miscavige, yeah. Yes, he's still running that?
he is in charge. Yeah, he's like the commissioner.
Well, that's something kind of crazy because even like J Ghislaine Maxwell at one point was meeting with the UN trying to get control of the sea, make it their own kind of country in a way where nobody really
Yeah,
has jurisdiction. I guess that's a way to evade, law enforcement at a certain level. It's
and
really fucking
that's
creepy.
like we were talking about before. Um, the sea idea. It's very much the same as the sovereign citizens. Like where they're like, I'm not a citizen. I can do
Gotcha.
whatever I want, Bob. I go by maritime law. Like, it's all just like a way to do things that you don't want anybody to know about.
Yeah, are there any rumors of what the Scientologists do out on sea or?
There's
Just
lots of rumors. I mean, Leah Remini, who has the Scientology show on Netflix, she
mhm.
was in Sea Org. There's like photos of her.
Oh
They
yeah.
wear a really cool costume.
Yeah. Got them dressed up like Popeye and shit.
Yeah, I actually really want like a Sea Org um jacket or something like that. I try to find Scientology stuff on eBay sometimes
Yeah.
because they have products.
Do they sell them? I mean, are you able to find anything like that?
Yeah. This is a DVD, The Citizens Commission on Human Rights
Oh
from the Church of
shit.
Scientology. They gave that to me in the bookshop.
So you visited a couple spots?
Yeah, I visited a few cults when I know somebody, Lisa Van Arsdale, who does this, who visits cults in the extreme. I have started doing it to experience this, like this is my job.
Yeah.
So you got to kind of when you can and it's safe and whatever, pop in and pop out.
Yeah, what city did you visit the like the Scientology one? That would kind of
That
be
was
like
in
a
Clearwater, Florida.
oh damn. Yeah, so one of the main hubs, I would assume.
It's the world headquarters.
Holy shit. Yeah, dude, yeah, that would be like a kind of a scary one to to go after because the legal shit, like you said, you were followed for a little bit by the body. I feel like they kind of do that, but they don't give up ever. Like after the
Oh
legal.
yeah. Okay, so Scientology in the 1970s, there is a journalist named Paulette Cooper, and she wrote a book that tracked what L. Ron Hubbard's first big expose book thing.
Hmm.
And they broke into her house, stole stationery with her fingerprints on it, and then used it to send themselves a bomb threat.
Damn.
Like they're like, "Hey, I'm Paulette. Like we're gonna blow up the Church of Scientology." She almost went to prison.
Holy hell.
Cults do like this is one fascinating thing about cults is the way they respond to criticism.
They are not okay with it, and especially
No.
them. I mean, they go to extreme lengths. I mean, some of the stuff that Leah Remini has put out about Scientology is extremely creepy and scary in a way. Have you found throughout your research and all of that, have you found any new cults kind of popping up with a leader that's kind of eccentric or charismatic like Jim Jones or something like that? Any pop out to you?
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking for these are always like stories about abuse is how they start.
Yeah.
Like you don't hear like I think this guy's pretty kooky. I get some messages like that, I guess.
Hmm.
But mostly like when I have something come out and it moves, uh, people reach out and they know somebody in a cult, they know about a cult, their sister's in a cult. Um, their mom joined a MLM and she's losing everything. Um, I hear all kinds of stories about. I mean, there's cults all over the place. Like it's the estimate is that there's about 10,000 cults in the United States.
Holy shit.
You can't say that for sure because most of these are secret organizations.
Yeah.
But that's the figure that's been put together that's been repeated by people who've with doctorates.
Do you kind of connect with a bunch of other like kind of investigators or journalists that look into it? And is there like a map
Yeah.
like some of where these are? Like the 10,000? Is there kind of one of those like maps that kind of like show
No, there isn't. There should
locates
be.
them?
I wish there was. That would be awesome.
Like
Um,
don't move into the city or something
this is
about
a
it.
great website idea. I could steal this and make
Yeah.
a fortune.
I was just like
No,
trying to think.
they should have some people should be aware if there is like it would be nice if there was a way to just kind of identify it and add a photo or something.
Hmm.
Um,
Do you kind of
but
have your own list, I guess?
no, I
Like,
don't have a list. I guess I just like sometimes I talk to people. Like I try to talk to when I'm getting flooded because there's like I have the something is popular or whatever. I
mhm.
can't respond to all the messages. But generally I try to people generally reach out to me with something to say.
Yeah.
And often it's about like the cult their ex-boyfriend's in or whatever.
Yeah. They've narrowly escaped.
Yeah. Yeah, it's incredible. I talk to people with incredible stories all the time where you just kind of have you can't yell with excitement or something that the story is uh so fascinating.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's lots of cults out there. There's lots of people who are in controlling relationships, like toxic, controlling one person controls another sort of thing. That it's just that's kind of the same thing as a cult story, the cult of one. But I guess like follow the local news. I should do something to populate cult stories in small towns or something. You got a good idea.
But there's nobody like with like a cool haircut and a badass band, kind of like David Koresh or like Jim Jones. Anybody like that that's kind of standing out right now, or are they
Well,
kind of underground?
Linda McGillis, I did this story about this New Age cult leader, Linda, who is the commander of the Galactic Federation. She's an
Hell
alien.
yeah.
She's an alien, and her dog Snoopy is an alien too, and he bites people.
Damn.
That's a pretty entertaining
And what
I mean
are
it's not entertaining if you actually watch the videos, but
what's her
it
cult
is in the
name?
clips. It's called Profundity Yours.
Oh yeah, that was the one that moved to Texas, right?
Yeah.
Are they still there in
No,
East
they're in
Texas?
Montana. They're in Montana now, and I can't find it. They're very underground.
That was a quick move. Were you the one that kind of blew that up?
Did yeah.
Yeah, that's hilarious. Like they could just be like underground for, I mean, who knows how long, but then, somebody like you just starts blowing the whistle on it, and then the whole town apparently, finds out, and then they have to move again. That's
Yeah,
pretty fucking funny.
it's weird. You can see why they do crazy stuff to me, though, right?
Are
Like
they
why they
pissed
want to
at
scare
you?
me so bad. Yeah, yeah. Oh my God.
That group with Linda, yeah, because I watched one of the videos on your YouTube. It's hilarious. I suggest anybody go and checking that out. I've heard it's like a 20-minute long thing of just her talking through different clips. So it looks like it's through Zoom or something. I guess she talking to members of the cult.
Yeah, they used to all like hang out virtually over and then post the videos to YouTube.
Yeah, she is. She looks like a lunch lady, number one, and then number
Yeah.
two, she very fucking boring. But it's just like funny shit that she's saying. Yeah, I couldn't.
She's a
Definitely
one of
not.
a kind.
Yeah, definitely not on
I
the
can't
Jim
believe
Jones level.
yeah, I can't believe she hasn't been on television yet. Like if she wasn't a psychopath and like it wasn't dangerous in my opinion, she would have a show on like TLC,
Yeah,
like
yeah,
sort of like Honey Boo Boo style.
or like the sister wives or whatever, kind of out in
I don't know why there hasn't been a cult that has been on a reality show where you get to like it's inside the like I feel like we've kind of passed that ethically as a society. Like we can do that now. We can get a reality show
yeah.
on a network where it's like inside some cult.
Yeah, some of them probably
And
would
we meet
want
all the
the
people and they
the
change over the
character.
seasons.
Yeah, the
They
character
never go
shift
off to
based off like
school.
who's kicked out and who's not.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, that'd be interesting as hell. I mean, maybe you could talk one of them into it, like if you get close enough. Is that lady like Profundity yours? Are they accused of anything like pretty terrible, or is it kind of the same like
Yeah.
abuse? What are they accused of? I don't know if I ever checked that
Well,
out.
I mean, it's abuse on the members. It's certainly like the family separation, and
Mhm.
I mean, I talked to a guy who's in prison for taking Linda's advice. And what he did is I'm not even gonna describe it. It's that bad.
What did it have to do with?
Sex. Um,
Damn.
but
Like,
Linda gave him some advice. He took it.
is it? Like rape or
Yeah, yeah, it's bad. I'm not
Jesus.
even, yeah, I don't even want to
Yeah.
open that door on a podcast.
Yeah, no, yeah, I get it. Yeah, a lot of it's just extremely dark when it involves children and stuff like that, man. It becomes hard to listen to. Yeah, it's just very, very dark and sad, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, this is depraved stuff. Like, there's too many themes like child abuse
Yeah,
in cult stories. There's human too many themes like human trafficking, sex trafficking, stuff like that
and
happens in cults, big and small, in all kinds of communities. I mean,
yeah, it's just
that's the stuff that they should be. I wish there were more stories about these groups getting taken out.
yeah. I mean, that's probably why none of them would agree to be on a TV show because a lot of that type of shit would be exposed. Are there any groups like that that you've kind of come across that would maybe be ideal for one of these type of
Yeah,
shows?
I have an idea to do a show where it's a with a European crew and we go into small communities trying to find the best music in America and we're in Sweden or whatever. This is for Swedish television. And we
Hmm.
go to this cult leader who makes music and they find him and they're like, "Oh my God, you have the best music in the world. You're the best music in America. We need you on Swedish television." And convince these people and do a reality TV
Oh, that's
show
a good
that way.
idea. Yeah, that's actually a really good idea to kind of trick them to be on TV because I mean your documentaries are well put together. They're really professional. I really dig them. I mean,
I appreciate that. I mean, I see all the things that suck about them. But I can just only get better. Like as a
yeah.
creator, part of it is just you have to do it. Like you have to,
Yeah, it takes messing up and then learning from it or whatever it
yeah.
is. But yeah, I didn't notice anything like that when I was watching them. What got you into that lane to where like you went from like writing, I guess, to the documentary
It was
style?
just the internet, like the response to, I mean, I think in 2022, I worked on an article that was very difficult. I had published like dozens of stories between in 2021 and 2022.
Hmm.
Um, and I put out this story and I think it reached like 200 people. I spent months on this, 6 months,
Yeah.
eight, something like that.
Yeah.
Working on it all the time. And I was like, this is not the way.
Yeah. Was it a similar thing like a cult or was it something else?
Yeah, it was a story about a specific cult member who was doing this bizarre stuff in Australia. Um, but that's just I adapt. You sort of as a journalist in 2025, you have to adapt. Like
Yeah.
we used to have I mean I never thought I thought the paper that I worked at was going to be here forever. I never was going to do like independent journalism. But my habits have changed too so much now that I get my stories on Instagram and Twitter.
Yeah.
Like find out what's going on in the world.
Do you find like more freedom in being an independent investigator or journalist like that?
Yeah, I like it's a double-edged sword because I if I had an editor, my material would be better.
Hmm.
Um, but just because I have weaknesses. Um, but it is great. It is great to kind of be like, I'm gonna do this one thing that I decide I'm gonna do. It's gonna be crazy. Um, like the last late this chicken truck cult that I was just making videos about. Like that's something like nobody can tell me not to do that.
Yeah. Don't do the chicken truck cult. We're gonna steer away from that. But yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I would see how like having a like already built platform and like an editor, people kind of working behind you would be very helpful. But have you been able to like build like a presence online that's really helped you with all of this, getting the word out and everything?
Yeah, I mean, people on the internet, the nosy neighbors too, like these are great people. the internet crowd and the nosy neighbors. Like
Yeah.
I have the amazing things have happened where somebody sees one of my videos or something and connects the dots, and it turns out like they know somebody who was in the cult, and then they find that person and you talk
Oh,
to
damn.
them.
Yeah.
And you find out new information after years and years working on the same story. And that's always like miraculous.
Yeah. Do you think the whole video aspect of everything would have happened had the paper not shut down?
No, I didn't know anything about like making a video, but
Interesting.
I had a webcam and a cell phone.
Yeah. Hey, honestly, really, it's all you need. I was kind of helping out with like a little radio show here in Dallas, and they're looking for other shows, and I was like, I would be interested, but obviously, I like to talk about crazy shit. I like to cuss a
Yeah.
little bit, and then I was kind of talking back and forth, and to the point where I was just like, fuck it, I just want to do it on my own, I guess, and just interview people online.
Hmm.
And I mean, but yeah, like you said, it is a lot of work that kind of goes into it when it's just you.
Yeah.
Do you have anybody helping you at all, or is it still you're just one man?
There's like producers, people who allow me to survive. I scrape by
That's cool.
on the people who want to make television out of this stuff.
Yeah.
Um, we'll see what happens. Um, but yeah, the people that help me are the people like it's the internet. It's the people in a DM that change the calculus of the game.
Yeah. Has any of the stuff gone viral? Because it's pretty popular stuff to kind of look into, the cult stuff.
Yeah, I mean, definitely Linda has gone viral when Chris got arrested and was calling his daughter's property. That went viral.
Jesus.
Um, stuff
Linda.
that sinks and swims.
What's her name? What's her full name?
Linda Good McGillis.
Linda McGillis. Yeah, that is a lunch lady's name. And I mean, she just like when you're listening to her, it just seems like one of those crazy people rubbing crystals together, saying the universe is, I guess, all
She's
hers or
got
whatever.
something. She has something special.
How the fuck is she? I mean, she literally she looks like she's on heroin when she's talking. I'm just like, what the
Uh,
fuck is going on with this? I would be like, yeah, it'd be kind of hard. Does she have kind of a big following? Are they a big group? Or are they kind of small
no,
and tight
I don't
knit?
know. Like they're underground now. I
You fucked that up for
they
them.
don't make videos anymore because I always edit them.
Yeah, I could. I mean, what they just like caught on that people were like weren't fucking with it. They thought it would like bring people in and like people
Yeah.
in. Damn, yeah, they just I guess do not know the internet at all. They just have very little grasp on it at that point.
Yeah, she's got just like a special confidence in herself too. I don't
Yeah,
know.
I don't know where you get that fucking confidence to put that type of content out there.
That
Just
kind of confidence is bad for you.
yeah, that's the shit that gets you found out about. I mean, apparently, and
Yeah, you should everybody should have confidence in themselves, but
she must
it
have had good
does
parents. Like growing up, her parents probably built her up a lot, or maybe it was the opposite.
it's kind of the opposite is how it works.
Really? Have you like dug deep into her background at all, or like where she
Yeah,
comes
kind
from?
of abusive home, kind of I mean most of what you expect like a lot of times people who become cult leaders have trauma in the first like 3 years of their life where whatever their protection source is also their source of fear.
Damn.
Um, and it kind of scrambles you. It's a phenomenon that you see in a lot of cult leaders have this sort of dark childhood. Charles Manson, his
Wow.
childhood was extremely, extremely dark. He was basically in
Jeez.
prison for his whole life.
Yeah. What about Jim Jones? Was his pretty fucked up, or
I can't really think of how Jim Jones came onto the scene. I don't know his background as well.
David Koresh kind of similar? Because they were really abusing people, I think, out in
Well,
like
I
the
don't know. I mean, there's a question like it's a nature versus nurture versus like there's just a reality that there are people out there who are kind of born psychopaths.
Yeah.
The kid who um, shot up the elementary school in New England. God, I'm trying to remember.
Is that
It's
Sandy
like the
Hook?
most, yeah, Sandy Hook.
Hmm.
Like that kid. There's an article in the New Yorker with about they interview his dad, and that kid was he just was a psychopath from he was born a psychopath. That happens sometimes. It's just
Yeah.
part of it's a blip in the system of humanity. And then there's a lot of people that were they have kind of they become wired as psychopaths from trauma, typically like within the first 4 years of your life.
Jesus. Yeah. That's really fucked up.
But
Let me see.
obviously people escape and transcend and everything too. Like it's not a death sentence, but
Yeah, some people,
it is
some people will
like
make it out. You need like some good therapy or,
there's a lot of cult leaders who have like super obvious like daddy issues.
damn.
Like always trying to like prove themselves to their old man, even though they're 60 and everybody's wearing robes around them or whatever they're doing.
Yeah, that's wild. Are you able to give any information on the group that you're currently checking out, or is that you kind of keeping
Not
that under
really,
wraps?
because I don't want to.
Yeah, you don't. Yeah, gonna wait for
Well,
the
the
big hammer to
problem,
drop.
yeah, I guess like the problem that I face now is that I used to be able to kind of go after the cult from a distance, and the
Hmm.
cult wouldn't take me seriously.
Yeah,
And like now, if you look at like where the cults that I did stories on, where
yeah,
they are now, um, I can't really put out the next thing. It's got to be kind of all put together at once
yeah.
for the
They
next
kind
one.
of yeah. You've taken a couple down. I mean, like where they've disbanded or they've moved. How long were you on the Profundity Yours group before you kind of dropped some info on them?
I looked into them for 5 months or 6 months or something like that. I
Yeah.
heard the story in 2022, and then we started putting out videos in March of 2023. And that took off right away. Like it went viral. And
Yeah, I can see why. I mean, was the community aware of it, or were they just kind of
no,
oblivious?
there were a couple people that I was talking to who, because I didn't release there was somebody that found out about it. I started talking to the locals, and then the story blew up, and it was like it's the biggest thing that's ever happened in this little city in Texas.
Yeah. Was the compound already there? Did they kind of construct that themselves?
The compound was mostly there. But they had like a handyman down the street who helped kind of turn it into the cult compound I know from the videos.
The world class
Yeah.
establishment that it got turned into. I got one more question. I heard on one of your interviews that you were kind of like atheist and like this whole thing um, kind of changed that.
Yeah, I would say that I was definitely when I started feeling God and uh, having spiritual thoughts, like it was very unusual. I didn't tell anybody about it. It was like a secret.
Hmm.
Uh, but I've talked to so many people who it's just I've heard so many unbelievable things
Yeah.
that have happened that I'm not like I don't belong I will never belong to any religion. I'll never
Yeah,
but I
understandably
certainly
so.
I have like I feel like a connection to something beyond like it's amazing what you can do. Like life is really interesting. Like I get
Hmm.
to be the cult hunter guy at 40, which is which is fun. I mean, we live in a different the world has changed.
Yeah.
Um
Hey, you got kind of like a history now and like a track record that, you kind of taken down a couple in a way. You kind of, exposed.
Yeah,
a couple
it's
too.
bad. It's bad news if I have a video. I wish this chicken truck video. That's what I'm gonna plug. Watch the chicken truck video on my TikTok.
Yeah, what's your
Um,
TikTok?
it's just if you look up Cult Hunter, I'm
Cult
that.
Hunter. Okay, yeah, I'll have to check
Um,
that out. Yeah.
but that's not gonna take her down. And I came in to that
The
thing like
chick?
I was so ruthless to her in that video.
It's a chick that's the
Yes.
chicken truck driver? Holy shit. Damn. Yeah. I was thinking some like kind of, backwoods dude with the flannel.
No, it's like a new age cult.
What the hell?
They like the crystals and star seeds.
Yeah, it seems to be like the popular mindset, I guess, amongst the young folk.
It is popular with Gen Z, I think. Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
That one, yeah, the profundity lady being the exception. I think she got into it a little late, but boy, is she into it when you start listening to her talk. Well, I ask every single guest at the end of the show the same question, and that's what do you think happens to you when you die?
Really?
Hmm.
Um, I think you go towards a light. You go towards a release and you become one with whatever you were before.
Interesting. But yeah, so like we come from,
I don't
kind of,
know. This Linda
yeah.
would say something similar.
And well, here's the thing. It's like, because people get like really upset over this stuff, even like with religion. But at the end of the day, everybody's just guessing,
Oh
no
yeah,
matter
yeah.
what you believe.
I
So
don't know. I mean,
yeah,
it seemed it would be so crazy if you died. It would seem wild if you died and nothing happened.
yeah. Did you believe that?
Um,
Did you believe that before like all of this or
yes.
yeah.
I would have
Damn.
had a different answer when I
That's
started doing
wild.
this.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
damn, yeah, that's really wild. Well, man, you want to shout out where people can find you and find your work?
Yeah, I'm free Melissa Parker on Instagram. My website is called Cult Stories. There you'll find it. My podcast is called Cult Stories. YouTube, I'm Syran Warner. Um, I'm on the internet. If you look up these cults that we're talking about, there's something about them online.
Well, man, I really appreciate your time. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thanks for having me on.